a woman walks into a pet store and makes an unreasonable request to the boy sitting on the ground. "Can I touch your little guy?" Percy, at that moment, shyly realized he had misunderstood the woman. When he found out that she wanted to adopt a puppy, he led her to the office to register, but the woman's expression was full of implication. She claimed she was sitting too far, then kept pulling the chair closer. Eventually, she sat directly facing him. Her words were full of provocation, making the 19-year-old boy in front of her so embarrassed he panicked, only able to pick up his phone to hide his awkwardness. Seeing he still didn't understand, she had to express her intentions more clearly. Just as he was confused about how to say no, a colleague walked in. He felt like he had found a savior, and asked the colleague if leaving early would be considered a serious violation. But before the colleague could answer, Maddie had already taken his backpack and left. When Percy saw her driving a van like a kidnapper, he truly started to panic, so he wanted to ride his bike home by himself. But Maddie insisted on not letting him go. Seeing how determined she was, Percy reluctantly agreed. Sitting in the passenger seat nervously, he recalled everything that had just happened. A strange, assertive woman suddenly approached him and insisted on taking him home. The more he thought about it, the weirder it seemed. And then the thing he feared most happened. Percy looked at Maddie in panic, then turned to look at the back seat. When he saw all sorts of strange tools, he completely freaked out, because everything looked like tools for committing crime. Percy immediately sensed something was wrong, and secretly took out his phone to call for help, but Maddie immediately snatched it away. At this point, Percy truly believed he had been kidnapped. When he saw the car stop, Percy prepared to act and save himself, so he used pepper spray to attack her. Maddie helplessly left the car immediately, face full of pain. Not stopping there, Percy even chased after her to attack again. After Maddie's explanation and her current expression of pain, Percy felt he might have misunderstood her. He quickly ran to get a hose to help rinse her off, but his clumsy action only made Maddie hurt even more. Percy kept apologizing, but still didn't understand why she was so determined to drive him home. Maddie frankly told him the reason she did it was simply because she was attracted to his look. Unexpectedly, Percy believed her. He thought it really was thanks to his appearance, and proposed to date Maddie, but starting tomorrow, because he needed to go home and prepare first. But Percy had no idea that today's encounter was actually prearranged. It turns out that not long ago, because of unpaid debt, Maddie's car had been repossessed by court order, and since she made a living as a driver, she completely lost her income. When she was feeling hopeless, a friend showed her a special job posting. Maddie felt it was a great job, and she met all the listed requirements. So the next day, she put on roller skates and went to the address in the ad. When the door opened, Maddie immediately saw the luxury car that was about to become hers. Then Percy's parent told her about the mission this time. Maddie was excited to take on the challenge. She planned to head straight to Percy's room, but was stopped by his parent because their son must not know about this, and the approach had to appear completely natural. Maddie thought this was going to be an easy task, but she didn't expect to run into so many obstacles. After a few interactions, they agreed to meet at a bar. The original plan was to use the first date to have a few drinks and loosen up, but when Maddie asked what he wanted to drink, he simply said he wanted to drink Coca-Cola. Seeing Percy's fearful reaction, Maddie was completely discouraged, but because of the mission, she had to act like nothing happened. She called the waiter and pressured Percy into ordering alcohol, because she believed that with some alcohol, things would go more smoothly. But the boy in front of her was too innocent, clearly not falling for it, and just kept asking boring questions that drove her crazy. Faced with a boy as pure as a blank sheet of paper, Maddie decided to switch to a more direct approach. She took him to a quiet beach, hoping he would experience skinny dipping, but Percy became shy and kept finding excuses not to get in the water. Under pressure from Maddie, Percy reluctantly agreed, but just as the atmosphere started to turn romantic, mocking laughter came from the shore. 3 young men appeared out of nowhere, intending to tease them. Faced with the situation, Percy only thought of going ashore to call the police, but Maddie charged ashore and beat them up to get their clothes back. Seeing Maddie return like a hero, Percy scolded her for using violence. No matter how Maddie explained, he wouldn't accept it. Angry, Maddie went ashore, grabbed the clothes and left. Just as she got in the car, Percy chased after her. After getting his clothes back, he realized he had lost his phone, but Maddie was furious at the moment and didn't want to help him look for it. As she spoke, Maddie got ready to drive off. Percy immediately lay on the hood, as if he wouldn't let her leave without finding his phone, but Maddie angrily refused to give in and continued driving as if nothing happened. That scene was spotted by a patrolling police officer. Afraid of being caught and having her license revoked, Maddie Maddie decided to take the risk. Luckily, she made it across just before the train arrived and escaped the police pursuit. Afraid of getting caught afterward, Maddie took Percy back to her place. After that risky moment, the two put aside their judgments about each other. Just when Maddie thought she could continue with her unfinished plan, she discovered Percy's back was covered in rashes from seawater allergy. A moment that should have been hot turned into a warm scene of applying medicine. Seeing the plan fall apart again, Maddie decided to just go with the flow. While applying ointment for him, Percy slowly opened up and trusted Maddie more, and began sharing what was in his heart. He said he was like a mama's boy, because he rarely got to be with his dad growing up, and his mother spoiled him too much, which made him timid. He was often teased by classmates and bullied by friends, gradually becoming insecure. After hearing all this, Maddie realized that if she wanted to win him over, her overly aggressive approach might not bring good results, so she decided from now on to take a gentle and thoughtful approach. In the following days, they happily walked the dog together along the beach and had fun at the arcade together. As time passed, their relationship grew closer and closer, and finally, it was as if Percy had been enlightened. He gave Maddie a carefully chosen gift. Faced with two unbelievably dull gifts, Maddie could only feel this boy was truly a treasure, and just wanted to take him home right away. But because of the luxury car, she had to pretend to happily accept them. Percy, who came from a well-off family, invited her to dinner with him. At night, after carefully putting on makeup, Percy drove his father's luxury car to pick Maddie up and go to the restaurant. On the way, to help boost Percy's confidence, Maddie suggested he play a piano piece. At first, Percy wanted to refuse, but seeing her hopeful gaze, he reluctantly sat at the piano. Under Maddie's encouraging eyes, Percy awkwardly began to play and sing. When the song ended, everyone applauded enthusiastically. Back at his seat, Percy's charisma had clearly increased. Perhaps this was the unique charm that musical talent brings. At the very least, Maddie was truly captivated by that performance and completely won over by Percy's striking appearance. And after spending time together, Maddie realized she had started to develop feelings for this naive boy. On the way back, Percy, a little tipsy, confessed to Maddie that he could no longer hold back his feelings and that he had truly fallen in love with her. This made Maddie extremely worried. What if one day the truth came out? How badly would he be hurt? When they got home, Maddie began to wonder whether she should keep up the lie. The next day, Percy made an important decision. He told his parents he had a girlfriend before they could even celebrate. Percy seriously said, "She doesn't want a long-distance relationship, so I won't go to Princeton anymore." Not wanting to crush their son's maturity, they said nothing more and made an excuse to send Percy away. Then they immediately called Maddie, intending to resolve this matter properly. When Percy's parents thought everything had been settled, a surprise occurred. None of the three expected that Percy had overheard the painful truth through the car's Bluetooth connection. He was completely shocked and couldn't think straight. He truly couldn't accept being deceived by his parents this way. A thought of revenge began to form in his mind. At that time, the other three were still unaware. Percy kept it from his parents and invited Maddie to dinner at home. When Maddie arrived, his father was clearly surprised. Then Percy began to carry out his revenge plan. With Percy's sarcastic tone, the three of them felt incredibly embarrassed. Obviously, that wasn't the end of his plan. Percy excused himself to take a phone call and left. Then, along with his friend, he started wrecking the luxury car that was meant for Maddie. First, they tried smashing it with a bat, but it wasn't strong enough and only caused minor damage. He then placed a big rock on the gas pedal and let the car crash into a tree. The falling tree crushed the car completely. Only then did Percy feel satisfied enough to return home. But Maddie had no idea that her beloved car had been wrecked beyond recognition. When she saw Percy entering the room silently without saying a word, Maddie, worried, followed him. Unexpectedly, as soon as she entered, Percy kissed her, and then they naturally made love. Just when Maddie thought the mission was complete and she would receive her reward, Percy revealed that he knew everything. "Your reward is in the forest, smashed by a fallen tree, completely destroyed. Got it?" At that moment, Maddie realized the truth had been exposed. Then she confessed everything she truly felt to Percy. But to Percy, those words no longer meant anything. After that, he told Maddie to leave his room immediately. Faced with Percy's direct rejection, Maddie had no choice but to get dressed and leave. Before going, she told Percy, "Your family has money, you live without worries, but me, I couldn't even keep a place to live." At that moment, Percy was furious and clearly couldn't sympathize with her pain. Maddie quietly walked away. The next day, she received the wrecked car delivered back by tow truck. So Maddie used that ruined car to drive for a ride-hailing service and worked part-time at a restaurant just to quickly pay off her debt. As for Percy, he finally decided to break free from his parents' pampering and become a real man. The lives of both had changed completely. Thanks to constant effort over time, Maddie finally paid off her loan. The old car, after repairs, looked almost brand new. That day, while celebrating with her best friend after overcoming hardship, her friend said, even without financial pressure, Maddie still didn't look happy. Those words made her think of Percy. The regret between them kept weighing on her heart, so she gathered all her courage and returned to the pet store where they first met, but only met Percy's former coworker. Then Maddie went to Percy's house, but learned that he was going to school tonight to attend a freshman welcome party. Without resting, she went to the school immediately. After some searching, she finally found the person she was looking for. Percy didn't intend to easily forgive the girl who had deceived him, but he clearly underestimated Maddie's determination to make things right. She even jumped on the car hood to block Percy's way, but Percy still didn't let her off. He kept speeding up even with Maddie in front of the car. Later, Percy drove toward the beach they once went to, but still didn't slow down, intentionally trying to push Maddie into the sea again. He didn't expect this crazy woman to be so determined. Percy panicked and jumped out to find Maddie. After helping her ashore, Maddie once again sincerely expressed her regret, and Percy was truly moved by her willingness to reconcile, even if it meant risking her life. The two hugged each other affectionately. Maddie was finally forgiven by Percy. She told Percy she had sold her house and planned to move to the city where he was studying. During the day, he would go to class, and she would drive rideshare to make a living, and at night, they'd return to a warm home together. Percy was also very excited and looked forward to the happy life Maddie had envisioned. On the day of departure, Percy hugged his parents goodbye after packing his luggage, and Maddie showed up right on time to pick him up. But this journey would have one more companion. It was the dog Percy had taken care of while working at the pet rescue earlier in the film. Seeing the dog he loved most, Percy was overjoyed. The dog's presence made their future feel even more complete. The two of them, along with the dog, walked in the golden sunset, stepping together into a happy future. Their journey began with love, but companionship is the long road. Love may not give you a perfect future, but it will surely give you strength and endless hope. Time flies. Love's path is long. Let's hope love never fades.